Alright, so following on from my last video about effective practice, this is going to be part 2, so if you haven't seen part 1, go and check that out. So part 2 following on from that. It's a bit of a big one for me today because I'm going to be basically disclosing and uncovering the real reason that I think that most people's practice is not as effective as it can be. And it's also the real reason why I think that most people aren't really getting the best out of their games when they get on the course. Because of this, because of what I'm going to talk to you through today. It also is the single biggest reason that I started to improve in my game when I started to understand this. Right, here we go. So I'm 150 yards from the middle of the green here. There's nothing in between me. There's no bunkers, no water to worry about or contend with. It's a pretty still day. It's not the warmest day of the year. It's a pretty still day, but this is my 150 yard club according to a gap test I did. So in theory, this should be a pretty stock shot. So, let's see how we get on. Okay, well short. Well short. The point I'm trying to make here is that we are basically playing golf by numbers, okay? We think that because we were stood there on that gap test that I know that club's going to go 150 yards. Well, it did. On a day when you were warmed up, relaxed, and there was no consequences. There's a consequence here. I'm a little bit nervous. There's a freaking camera on me right now, okay? So, obviously, I'm going to be a little bit more tense. And if I had the ability to sort of measure my own kind of tension in my body, maybe my heart rate, I reckon it's probably a little bit higher than the day I did my gap test. Because the thing is with these clubs is, this is what you don't understand, or the bit that you're not really practicing or using in your games, is that a club will go as far as you want it to go within reason, okay? So even if I go up 2 clubs, okay, I know that I can basically now make a slightly more relaxed swing on it. Because I know full well that I've got a little bit of tension inside me right now. And that is middle of the green. And that is why, guys and girls, your range game is not transferring to the golf course. Because it's a completely different environment. You're not taking into account how you feel and the shot you want to play. As soon as I started thinking about the shot rather than the swing, my golf went from straight up. Because I started to react to the target, just like we do in every other sport. I mean, when we play tennis, for instance, the ball comes to us and we think, I want to put it in that far baseline. You don't think about where your wrists are, or your body positions are doing. You're just thinking, that's where I want the ball to go, and you react to it. Same with any other sport. Football, cross-field pass. You don't think to yourself, what do I want to do with my body to make that happen? You just actually just see the shot, see the pass, and you kick it. And the majority of these sports I'm talking about, the ball's moving. Now when we play golf, the ball is completely static. So, in theory, it should be 10 times easier. But it's not, because of this thing. It gets in the way. The thing is, like, if you think about the tour average as well, like the tour average from 155 to 125 is actually 20 feet from the pin. So, I mean, I'm not playing on greens here that are much bigger than that. So, if I'm hitting the green, I'm effectively playing to tour average. You know, it's a different mindset to think of it in this way. But we're too bogged down in technique. We're too bogged down in doing things the right way. Whereas anybody else looking, if you didn't know anything about golf and you looked down and you saw a load of golfers, you would probably be thinking to yourself that we get bonus points for long drives. We get bonus points for hitting less club than our playing partners and our mates are hitting into shots. Whereas we don't. It's only the score that matters. Doesn't matter how you do it, it just matters what you do. And I think as soon as we turn our mindset into that kind of approach, golf becomes so much easier. Another key element to all this is expectation management, and this will actually help you enjoy golf a bit more as well, especially for people out that don't have the time to practice that we'd like. Being able to control your expectations of what you can achieve. So it's pretty common in business that it's said that you're supposed to underestimate and over deliver. It's all about managing expectations, because that way then the customer always feels like they're getting a better service than they were promised. The worst thing you can do is overestimate and under-deliver. And that's what we do in golf all the time. So I've got a shot here from 100 yards in. Now, if I start to think to myself, if I pull my 100-yard club out and hit a perfect shot, I'm going to be middle of the green. But the chances of me hitting that perfect shot, especially at my skill level, are slim to none. Whereas if I turn around and say to myself, right, I've got 100 yards in, I want to hit the green, and what's the easiest way to do so? And I pull out a club that feels right for that shot. I'm not thinking about stiffing this next to the hole. I'm just thinking about hitting the green somewhere. That way then I can walk up to it, and as long as I'm on the green, I'm pretty happy with myself. I'll show you how I get on. Right, so 100 yards away. Most people will be pulling out some kind of ridiculously lofted wedge for this shot. I've got my pitching wedge, because this is effectively a pitch. Now, because I've got effectively too much club here, automatically my expectations are lower. I don't think to myself, right, I'm going to literally land this right next to the hole. All I want to do with this shot is hit the green. Now, I don't want to be to the right of it. There's a huge drop off. There's a nice big hill down the left, so I can play it in from the left, knowing if I go a little bit left, it's going to kick in. So I'm going to play a shot that's coming in from the left. I'm seeing that, I'm feeling that shot with my setup and my little waggle, and then I'm just going to commit to it. Okay, so you'll see that down on camera. That was nothing like I imagined. Yes, the ball did turn to the left, but I didn't start it down the left. I actually started it on target a little bit, if not a little bit down the right. So that was nothing like what I imagined. But you know what? I'm on the green. I've got a putt. Right, I'm going for the overly dramatic 2 camera angle here to see if this drops, you'll see it go in. So, can't really be bothered to walk up to the pin. Can't really be bothered to check my line. I don't really care about that. I'm only thinking on pace. On turn. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is golf. I didn't hit the shot into the green that I wanted to, but I just birdied that hole. Why are we worried about, why are we spending so much time and wasting so much energy on trying to be so clinical and perfect? It's a sport at the end of the day. Play it like one. Will comment on this and tell me that how can high handicappers or even average golfers, which I'm portraying myself to be, actually, how can they learn this kind of skill, okay? And this is the bonkers concept of it, because it's even easier to learn than what you're trying to learn right now. It's how you've learned to do everything else in life. I am going to throw up my Exhibit A here, okay?
So this is John Davison Golf. Go and check him out on YouTube. Now, John and I have been talking since about December, and he's implemented everything that I'm talking about in this video. He's a 23 handicapper. He's now breaking 90 for the first time. He's broken 85, and now he's after 80.
Okay, so I'm on a 200 odd yard par 3. It's a bit downhill, and I've got a fairway wood with me here, okay? And I am going to chip a fairway wood down there. You can make any club do pretty much what you want it to do once you understand and you have a little bit of a play and an experiment around it, okay? So I am going to basically just chip one down there. Oh, back of the green. I'm not going to get back-to-back birdies playing golf the non-conventional way, am I? Surely not. Again, not really going to bother spending too much time looking at the line or anything else. It's pretty obvious it's got to start down the right somewhere. It's more about pace at the end of the day. The line comes from the pace, really. Oh no, 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 no. Oh, you have to be kidding me. I've come out with a set of clubs that looks a little bit like a half set. So what I've done is I've got my favourite club that I would play out of a bunker, which is a 54-degree wedge, and then I've taken out alternate clubs through the bag up to the point where I'm got to my most confident club I can hit off the deck. Now that now gives me a really kind of confident set to play with. It also means that I don't really ever have the club in my bag that will go the number I'm supposed to make it go. So I'm always having to find and feel shots out. Trust me, as soon as you start doing that, things like this happen. Oh no, not another birdie coming up, surely not. Oh, you have to. 3 in a row! That's 3 in a row! This is hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious. This is the best birdie stretch I've ever had in my life. I'm picking the tree right down in the back of the distance. That is my line. I'm going to set up to that. I'm going to feel like I'm slightly closed to that, which is going to help promote a little bit more of a draw. And then I'm just going to swing. One of the reasons why I love playing with these limited set of clubs like I've got right now with me is A, because of the confidence it gives me, because I know I can hit each club fairly well, but also it reduces a lot of the decisions I have to make, because when I walk up to the shot, the chances are it's either going to be I've either got too much club or not enough club. Well, depending on where the trouble is and what the green is, the options are going to present themselves to me. Oh, sorry, the solution, shall I say, will present itself to me of which club is the best one to play. And then I can put a confident swing on it and a confident shot to it, because I'm 100% committed to that decision, because it's the only decision I can make. Because actually when it comes to golf, with all the variables that we're dealing with, Mother Nature, our own thoughts, emotions and feelings, we feel like we've got total control over the situation because the ball's stationary, like I said in the last video, whereas we don't. The only thing we've genuinely got control over is our decisions. Okay, so this is an interesting point again. So I'm on the left-hand side of the fairway right now, and I'm aiming a little bit sort of diagonally out to the right for this shot. Now I know through experimentation what happens when I play shots like this. Let me kind of show you here. So if I set up here now, most people would think that I'm going to be hitting it to the right and that's going to promote a draw. Whereas if I set up to this shot now, and I'm setting up down the right for a draw, but my shoulders are open, which means I'm going to hit a push slice. I'm going to hit a shot that's going to go out that way. Because I know that because I'm aiming to the right, that's what happens to my ball flight. Now if I was to aim to the right here, and the pin was down the right hand side and I was the other side of the fairway, what happens then is I actually aim down the left, but I close my shoulders. I only know this through experimentation on the driving range. So I actually know this shot here, because of where the pin is and everything else, is going to move to the left to right. So there's no point fighting it. I know that's going to happen. So let's just play the shot. As described. Once again, not the greatest strike in the world. I mean, even the pros are even saying they're hitting 2 out of 10 shots. They're only hitting 2 or 3 good shots in a round. So, once again, that wasn't a pure shot. But nobody else, none of my playing partners would know that. I'd probably get rounds of applause, or no one knows what club I've played. No one has an idea. All they're seeing is the result. That's all that matters. Look at this. This is ridiculous. So I am absolutely pin high with, yes, you guessed it, another birdie attempt. No way. No way. Oh! I'm going to do some videos around the driving range and showing you how to make your practice as effective as you can on the driving range. It's quite difficult to do because of the sterile environment that you're doing it in. It's kind of, you kind of get to this relaxed state, and when you're relaxed and your brain's not engaged, your practice becomes less effective. You just kind of go through the motions, and therefore that's because you're not engaged in it. It doesn't actually then, it's not meaningful. So you're going there to learn a new skill. Now, when we are learning new skills, let's face it, we always look at who the best are in anything we do, and we try and emulate them. So who's the best golfers? Let's copy them. Who's the best footballers? Let's copy them. Who's the best tennis players? We always copy the best of the best. But yet, when it comes to learning, we don't copy the best learners. Because who are the best learners? Well, they're children, they're kids. Kids are the best learners. And yet, as adults, we think that we are more intelligent, so therefore we can figure this out on our own without doing what a kid does, which effectively is playing and experimenting. When they do that, they learn from it. We're no different. We're just more intelligent because we're older. So if we start to implement that into our practice, you'll start to see the situations I just explained on that last hole over there, about how I understand about shot shaping. It's because I had to go at it, I had to play with it. Try an element and put that same sort of elements into your work. If you're going there because you've got a swing issue and someone's highlighted that to you, and they said, oh, you know, you're doing this in your swing, okay? Now, anyone with a set of eyes and a camera phone can see issues in their own swings. That's not the skill. The skill isn't knowing what the issue is. The skill is knowing why you have that issue. Any coach that is trying to give you the answer is effectively robbing you of your own learning. They're robbing you from having that experience of going through this. And if I'm honest, it's just lazy just to tell you that you've got an over-the-top swing and it's because your elbow's getting stuck or because you're standing up and that's just frankly lazy. It's lazy coaching. It's like different concepts to what is essentially traditional methods that are out there. Because frankly, if they were working, we'd all be getting better. And we're not. We're just not. The average handicap hasn't changed since dawn of time. It's still around 18. So if we're not getting better, why are we still trying to do the same thing? Why are we not doing what we do in every other sport, which is just see it, feel it, play it?